Hello there, World of Tankers. I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be comparing the T11E03 to the T11E04. Both of these are Tier 10 American tank destroyers, both very, very deadly in their own respective attributes. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you which one I personally like more, and as well at the same time, which one I feel is a better Tier 10 tank destroyer. So getting right into it, both of these tanks are super heavily armored for the tank destroyer class. The E3, in my opinion, actually has the best armor out of all Tier 10 tank destroyers in the game. And the E4, while it definitely is not nearly as monstrous on the armor profile as the E3, it still has very comparable armor to the T11E05, a Tier 10 heavy tank, and as well this tank carries a very, very deadly gun. And as well, it has a traversable turret, not fully, but it's able to go 90 degrees to the right and to the left. So that's one major advantage that the E3 does not share, is a traversable turret. This is a fixed gun, and yeah, you really do lose a couple scenarios, and not as much flexibility on the E3, but again, you have more gun depression. So both of these tanks have very, very different types of playstyles. The E3 is a little bit more flexible if you're in a frontline hull-down position. Let's say you're on mines. I would much rather be in an E3 than an E4 in a mines position, because of course all you gotta do is hide your lower plate, nobody's gonna flank you, and you're practically impervious to all shells hitting you other than a high explosive. Where the E4, you have that cupola on the top, and while you do have a cupola on this tank, it's not really a weak spot. Where the E4s, yeah, that one's way, way weaker, about 220 millimeters thick, while this one's only about 350, so a little bit of a difference there, as you can guess. So our team, in my opinion, is making a bad move here, pushing to the heavy route, but sadly, I have to follow the team because I'm not very quick, and as well, while I do have a very solid amount of armor, I don't have the most mobility, as we know. But nice thing about the E3 is it actually received quite a bit of speed and mobility. About a year and a half ago, they gave it a massive buff, so it's able to go quite quick. It's definitely not the best on power to weight, as you can see here, just very slowly getting into position. I don't even know why these guys expect the enemy to go this way. I'm just going to run right through here. But this tank is not very good on the power to weight ratio. That's one thing I'm still not the best fan of, is the mobility on this tank is kind of lackluster. It may have gotten a buff, but it still, in my opinion, should go a little bit faster. Now, people can argue that it does have the new special consumables, but in my opinion, that takes up a repair kit. And would you rather have the ability to repair your tank after your track has been destroyed, or have the ability to go a little bit faster and get yourself tracked in the first place? So we already got a pretty nasty shell right into that Jagdpanzer E100, as you saw there. The nice thing about this tank is it has a truly just wonderful gun. You're able to pretty much destroy anybody that does come into your sights. So here we go, we got the E5 right in front of us. I would love to get this Vickers CR as well, but I doubt we're going to be able to shoot that guy. And he's probably going to outspot us and just bully us in the process. So I'm going to deal with these guys over to the side here for now. And maybe we'll deal with that Vickers CR in a little bit. So I want to know if I'm spotted, first of all. If we're not, we could. Yes, we are. Which means that Yag could be looking at me. That's something I always want to keep an eye on. But at the same time, we do have the butt of that Vickers. And oh, I would really... It's not the butt, but you know what? We still can get an HE. There you go, 778 damage into that poor guy there. I'm not really sure what the enemy team is doing either. They kind of got stuck in a weird situation because our team did something that you normally don't see teams do. So we got the Vickers pushing quite aggressive there, who, yeah, not very healthy anymore. So I'm not really going to worry about the Vickers. At the same time, we got the T92, who might be pulling out in front of us. I doubt it, but, you know, the player's mind never ceases to amaze me. So, oof, my T54E1 got taken out, but we do have the Grill 15 right there, and loaded HE. Ooh, 913 damage right off that poor Grill. That's, again, one nice thing about this tank is that you have that amazing gun, just able to rip the enemy apart. So that shell, yeah, you can see we kind of ruined that Grill's day. So we have the Object 704 right to the side here, and I really want to shoot this guy, but at the same time we have the E4, but you know what? I really wanted to go for that, so that kind of sucks. And we got the T92 off to the side now. We got the 704 right to the front, and I'm going to try and kind of wiggle my tank back in the position here. Let's see if we can bounce the shell. No. Actually, that looks like a premium shell that the 704 fired there, because that was an extremely low roll. So let's back up here. Let's get another shell into the 704, finishing him off. Of course, we're going to reload this guy because we do have the Tier 10 Tank Destroyer DPM. In fact, you have amazing damage per minute in your T11E03 just because it is a non-turreted tank destroyer. So this T92 was last spotted right over here. So, yes, thank you very much for your hit points. And now we can try and deal with maybe the T11E05. We've done a great job so far holding off the enemy at 3,800 damage pulled out already. That poor E5 just lost pretty much all of the HP that vehicle had right there. And, well, I don't want to be hit by the grill, and at the same time, I want to get that Yag, because I'm actually not that worried about the Yag Panzer penning me in a gun depression position. As I said, this tank is super, super thick in a position like that. So if I just push the E3 right in a spot like this, we might actually be able to get a shell out. I would just really love if the Yag let me. So here we go. Oh, that kind of sucks for me. But I'm not too worried. Like, the grill might get us here, but yeah, there you go. You can see our wonderful armor doing the trick. But we do have a bit of an issue here because we've got tanks all around us. So let's go for the IS-7 here first. Oh, well, yeah, I guess no, long live the IS-7. So there we go. Now I guess we can deal with the Yag Panzer, go into a different hull-down position. Once again, trying to use our excellent 8 degrees of gun depression here. Let's see if we can bounce the shell. Come on, Yag, you want to. Let's go right there, and boom. Thank you very much for your hit points. And since this guy's now a one-shot, I really don't care if this grill even shoots us, to be honest. But, yeah, we'll finish off the grill as well here. Just waiting for him, just waiting, I guess, here. So let's get a nice roll right into the grill's upper plate. There we go. Taking out the grill. Yag Panzer, no matter what, cannot max roll us. And come on, bounce the shell. You know you want to. Just bounce it. Oh, did not bounce it. But, yeah, the Yag will long living the E3. And this was just a truly amazing game pulled out by the E3 here. Let's finish him off. And, well, there we go. So that was how much damage did we do this game. We pulled out, I'm not sure, but we got 5 kills and over 7,000 damage. So there you go. That was an excellent representation of the T11E03 and pretty much its prime scenarios. I was using hull-down positions. I was bouncing shells. We didn't really receive that many shells, but we still did bounce about 50%. We received 5, and 2 of them did bounce. I'm not sure if we got tracked by any of them as well. Sometimes you get tracked, and if you do get tracked, it counts as a penetration, but it might not damage you. And I think that did happen once, but we got a lot of damage out there. In fact, that is one of the highest games I have pulled out in the T11E03, and probably the last couple of months. So yeah, you could see the E3, super strong tank. We did get a little bit lucky there with that ammo rack on the IS-7, but even without that, we still probably would have been sitting at around 6,000 damage. So the T11E03 is a great tank in my opinion. If you don't have it, it's a great tank line to go down. The issue is the T28, yeah, T28 has got to be one of the worst tanks tier for tier in the game, and if you're not a fan of slow-moving tanks, well, yeah, the T95 is not going to be your cup of tea either. I like the T95, in fact, I think it's very fun. However, running that tank non-stop for 500 games, maybe, yeah, I can't say I necessarily enjoy that all too much. So what is good about the E4? So, of course, it has the traversable turret, and that's really the only advantage it has over the E3. It doesn't have an armor advantage. I guess also because it is lighter here, you can see it has a good power-to-weight ratio. So this guy knows exactly what we're doing, but the E4 has a way better power-to-weight ratio, which is something I like because you're able to get into position, which makes sense. You're a lighter target. You've got a lot less armor on the front. So, oof, that really hurt. That T92 got into position, and, well, yeah, this kind of sucks for me, I guess. We might actually be taken out within the first couple of seconds here. From a wonderful game to a not-so-wonderful game, I guess I can say there. But this isn't really the E4's fault, because if we were in any scenario here, the tank would have fallen apart. If the E3 was there, it actually would have been worse, for my opinion, if I was in the E3, just because the... well, the E3, of course, can't deal with tanks on the side of it and as well at the front. So I would love to get a shell into that Leopard, but right now, this is an issue because I'm kind of just stuck here. That's one thing that these tank destroyers struggle with is, especially when your medium tanks don't really get the side spot, is the ability to deal with mediums. So I'm just going to kind of wait here, see what happens, go with the flow. Because, of course, I can't really deal with that. There you go, my 57 just getting nailed constantly. And, yeah, my 57 is probably going to die here. But, you know what? We got a very nasty tap into that 92. That T92 got way too greedy, tried to finish off my teammates, and, well, you can see what happens to the greedy players sometimes in this game. So we got the Mowry. I would love to get a shell into that Mowry, so let's try. Just wasn't able to get it out in time there. I actually really wanted to get that one out. So we got the Leopard who's pushing up at the same time. It looks like that Leopard wants to shoot me, but I really want to get this Mowry if we can. So let's try. Oh, come on. That should have easily penned. See, sometimes Droodle says something called bad luck, and even though this Mowry has been shot at twice now, he still has the idea, hey, I should pull out again. So let's do it. I'm not, I'm just going to pull right out here. Let's try and pen him. There we go. The first time we have penned that Mowry. Still, that guy is just staying up on the ridge. I don't know why you would do that, but if he pulls up again, I will gladly take another shell right into that Mowry if I can. So we got the Leopard, who is still pulling out, quite aggressive. So if we could get a shell into that Leopard, that would change the course of a lot of the game here. So let's go for it. You know what? Here we go. Oh, that shell was really close. But yeah, it's definitely tough stuff when you're trying to get these shells out, especially when I can't really risk to lose any more hit points than I already have. So we got the Mowry, who, again, is pushing very, very aggressive in the position it's in. So let's get another nice tap right into that Mowry. Did tap us back, but you know what? We're not dead yet. Gonna back up here. Oh, we're gonna die right now, aren't we? Oh, we're not dead. We actually have a chance here to survive. So we got the M103 with 1200 health, so let's get a nice tap into you, bringing the M103 just down to a one-shot. And you can see, even though we are in a extremely tricky scenario where I'm not really going to be able to pull this off, we still are able to get out quite a bit of damage. Let's see if we can get this FE 4005. I would love to. There we go. Nice 703 damage tapped off that guy, just breaking the 3000 damage barrier. And, you know, as I said, while I wasn't able to break all of the damage in this game, still the tank did an excellent job, in my opinion, of getting out the damage. Let's finish off this leopard. That guy tormented us the entire game, and you know what? We got the last laugh on him. So I am very fine with that game there pulled out. As you saw, while the E4 didn't necessarily do the best, I can definitely say in this battle, it probably performed better than the E3 would have, because the issue with the E3 is just that it doesn't have a turret. I was able to get out a couple shells, especially on, like, that Mowry, where I could just turn my turret to the side, aim up, and shoot that Mowry, where you really couldn't do that in your T11E03. So there are quite a bit of differences in the vehicles. And, well, sadly, while that E3 game kind of just trumps over the E4 game, I personally do think the E4 is more fun. Now, the reason for that being is because, first of all, it's just a little bit more flexible. While the E3 is great and one of the best tier 10 heavies slash tank destroyers, I kind of call it a heavy, but it's one of the best tier 10 tank destroyers in the game in certain scenarios, just because you're able to hold the line in gun depression spots. In my opinion, it's way better than the Badger on a gun depression position. But at the same time, the E4 is able to use spots that the E3 couldn't. I would not have been able to get that Mowry and deal with the medium tanks in the front and do a bunch of other stuff that the E3 just can't deal with certain scenarios where the E4 can, and at the same time the E4 can't deal with certain scenarios that the E3 can. Now, I definitely feel the E4 is kind of getting a little power creeped. I think it needs a little bit maybe in the hit point buff, make it 2000 or so. That might help it out a little bit, but let me know in the comments down below what tanks you like better. Do you like the E4 better, or do you like the E3? I think they're both excellent tier 10 tank destroyers, but I gotta side for the E3 in this one and say that it is a better tier 10 tank destroyer, just because it has received a lot of love lately. It's got that armor, it's got the DPM, and as well, it's just crazy in the frontline positions. So, I hope you guys did enjoy this content. Once again, if you did, make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.